Good, beautiful morning and welcome back to this channel, Low Drag Lifestyle. So if you are thinking about moving to another country or even moving into a backpack or a duffel bag to start traveling, then you are probably realizing that you need to downsize or even minimize the amount of clothes that you have to make that easier or even possible. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it. So for me, this is probably the second time in 3 years that I've thought about minimizing the amount of stuff that I have in order to move. When I moved to South Korea for the first time, I came with a large suitcase and a backpack. More recently, I moved from my little island to a city. I did that in a taxi, and now I'm changing again. I need to fit into a backpack and my half of a duffel bag that I'll be sharing. So I need to really downsize the amount of stuff that I have. Let's look at some tips, some tricks, and some strategies for effectively doing this. So let's start with an idea that's going to make it really easy to start seeing what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of or leave behind. And that is the idea that if you haven't used it in the past couple of months and you're not planning on using it in the next couple of months, then let's just get rid of it. This is obviously not something that you're interested in wearing anymore, and therefore it's probably not something that you need to take with you. After all, if you do make space for it in your bag and you hang it up in your new wardrobe, your new closet when you arrive, are you really going to wear it then? If you haven't recently, probably not. So let's cross it off the list. So now that you've started making some headway, some progress through that massive pile of clothes, let's take a look at a strategy that I've definitely used myself that's really going to show you what you actually want to take with you. If you're anything like me and the vast majority of people, then you probably have a handful of shirts, maybe 5 or 10 that you cycle through. Same with trousers or jeans, maybe 2 or 3 pairs that you wear all the time. Same with shorts or shoes. You have the same pairs that you go to all the time. The reason for this is that you take something out of the wardrobe, you wear it, you put it in the washing machine, you dry it, and you put it back in the wardrobe. You have this cycle of things that just kind of sit on the top of that pile of clothes or sit on the side of the wardrobe that you always take things from. These are the things that you wear all the time. So we are going to take that cycle and break it, use that to our advantage here. So if you have a wardrobe and you take things from the right-hand side every day, let's switch that around. Let's push everything to the right-hand side and you start taking things from the left. If you have a pile of t-shirts that are all neatly folded up and you constantly find yourself taking the t-shirt off the top and wearing it, you're going to take that pile of t-shirts and turn it over. What this means is that you are taking the shirts that you never wear off the hanger. You're taking the shirts from the bottom of the pile and you are wearing them. When you pick up a shirt from the new top of the pile or from the side of the wardrobe that you are now taking clothes from, it is the shirt that you wore the longest ago or the pair of jeans that you wore the furthest back in time. And you can ask yourself, it's been so long since I wore this. Does it fit me? Do I like it? Does it go with the other things I own? And if the answer is no, then maybe put it in a pile and think about getting rid of it. So if you followed these 2 strategies and you've started to make some progress, well, the next thing to do is to raise your standards. By this I mean, when you put an item of clothing on and you're thinking, should I take it with me? Let's think about only taking things with us that we really love, that you put on, you think it fits perfectly, it looks great, I feel comfortable, confident in this item of clothing, I will wear it a lot. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to be packing and you want to be taking if you have a minimal amount of space in your luggage. This is a strategy that I've been using for years now with buying new clothes. And even if you're not moving to a new country, it's a great one to use when you're buying clothes. When you put something on in a shop, ask yourself, do I love it? Do I really love it? Is it perfect? If it's less than perfect, then you're probably going to end up not wearing it. It's probably going going to end up again at the bottom of that pile of clothes, at the dusty end of the wardrobe. So if you are still with me, then we have made some real progress. But if you want to get down to a single backpack or maybe just a small amount of luggage, then there is another step that we can take. And this is to start thinking in terms of situations and scenarios instead of thinking about individual items of clothing. So at this point, I want you to start thinking about what you're going to actually be doing in the place you're going. So with what I'm doing, I'm about to become a digital nomad. I'm going to be traveling around the world, traveling to different countries, different climates, but I will be working from home, working from my apartment. So I'm going to want things for hot climates, for walking around cities, for going to the beach, and for being in a hot environment. So this is t-shirts and this is shorts. I'm also going to be visiting a lot of cold countries. I'm going to be touring around Europe, and South Korea, where I am right now, is definitely not hot this time of year. So I need casual clothing for cold countries. This is trousers, this is a jumper or a sweater, something like that. And this is shoes, because I am not going to be wearing sandals in the UK in the winter. What about sports and working out? Well, yeah, I'm probably going to do a lot of working out and a lot of swimming, definitely, but probably not that many organized sports. So that kind of specialized equipment is probably something I'm not going to need so much. One other situation that I might want clothes for is slightly more formal events. So this is things like when I'm going out to nice restaurants or I'm meeting family for dinner or something like that. So this is going to be maybe a button-down shirt, a dress shirt that I can wear to nice restaurants, something a little bit more than a t-shirt. So this is my list. This is what I'm working with. You will notice that there are some things that aren't on there. Workwear, for instance. Yeah, I'm going to be working from home, from the apartment, or from co-working spaces. So I don't need office wear. I can just wear casual wear for that. And also there are some things that will be happening less often. So smart clothes for going out to nice restaurants. I probably don't need more than 1 or 2 shirts for that, because it's probably not going to happen multiple times a week, certainly not multiple times a day. So that's not something I need lots of clothes for. So now that you have your list of situations, you can start packing for them. But when you start to fill up these situations with clothes, you start to realize that often you will only need 1 or 2 things for each situation. For instance, a winter coat, a warm winter coat. Do you really need 2 of them? Probably not. What about shoes? Well, you're probably going to need sandals for the hot weather. I'll need shoes for the cold weather, certainly for traveling and boarding planes and long travel days. I'll be wanting shoes. And what about sliders? Well, sliders, flip-flops, do you want those as well? Can I just wear my sandals in every situation where I would want to wear the sliders, wear the flip-flops? Yes, great. I don't need them. I've just saved myself some space. Thinking in situations, thinking in groups of activities and scenarios can really help you save space so that you're not packing 2 items of clothing when 1 would do, and also you're not packing 2 items of clothing when you actually need 5. And an important, let's say, pro tip, don't forget, washing machines exist. If you're traveling somewhere for 2 weeks, then hey, maybe you don't need to pack clothes for 2 weeks. Maybe you need to pack clothes for a week, and in the middle you can do a wash. If you're becoming a digital nomad and you're going to be traveling a lot, then absolutely you need to start thinking about how often you're going to do a wash. Can you do washing in the sink in your accommodation as well? Yes, you might not have such frequent access to a washing machine, but if you can wash certain things in the sink, then you maybe need fewer of them. I see so many people who travel for 2 weeks with a really big backpack and they think, yes, I have t-shirts to last me for 2 weeks, when in fact what they really needed was t-shirts to last them for 1 week, and then just to either wash them in the sink at the accommodation or to run a washing machine halfway through. Then you pack lighter, you travel lighter, and everything is just a little bit easier. Before we move on to our final and most powerful strategy for getting you into one backpack or a small amount of luggage, let me remind you that this channel, Low Drag Lifestyle, is about minimalist travel and designing a life that doesn't slow you down, building a life that allows you to do and achieve what you really want. If that sounds good, then get subscribed. I come out with brand new videos every single week. Hit the like button and leave a comment down below introducing yourself. Okay, let's move on. So the last thing that I want to say is to remember that everyone wears clothes. That is to say that if you arrive in your destination and you think, I've packed 5 t-shirts and I actually needed 6, then great news. I am willing to bet that you can buy another t-shirt at the place that you are staying. I'm willing to bet that if you arrive with only 1 pair of swimming shorts and you really want to go swimming, far more often than 1 pair of swimming shorts allows you to, then great news. You can buy swimming shorts in most of the world. So don't worry too much. I would be very impressed if you find a part of the world where you really can't buy another t-shirt. It's not something you're going to need to worry about. If you are thinking about getting all of your clothes in your wardrobe into one small backpack or into a small amount of luggage, then maybe you are thinking about quitting your job to travel the world like I did. If that's the case, you might be interested in this video up here, which is all about why I quit my job to travel the world. And alternatively, if you just want to hear about how you can use travel to make your money worth more, then maybe this video down here would be of interest to you, and I'll see you in the next one.